Okay, I want you just to watch, and you can follow along if you want. But if you ever have to do, if you're ever in a class where they ask you to perform this type of solution, okay, you need to get rid of your radicals. So what do we do to get rid of these radicals? Square both sides. And now, when we square both sides, the left side here gets rid of the radical. But in the right side, remember this is the form a minus b squared. Okay. Careful. The a minus b squared pattern, Jordan, is what? Okay, so we're right here. I'm just going through this pattern. So if you have a difference of squares, or I'm sorry, a binomial square, does anybody remember what the pattern is for expanding this out? It's not just a squared minus b squared, right? You have to take the first term and square it. And do you remember double the product of the terms? So a times a negative b, double that, you get negative 2ab. And then the last term squared, negative b squared is plus b squared. So you have to take that into consideration. If you have two radicals, and they're not just single terms, if one of them is being added or subtracted to something else, you have to perform the steps twice. So we take our first term and square it, 9. We take double the product of these terms. So 3 times a negative root 2x, doubled is negative 6 root 2x. Thank you. And then the last term squared, root 2 squared is 2, root x squared is x. So you still have a radical in your expression, but you've reduced it from 2 radicals into 1. And so you have to repeat the process. Subtract the 2x from both sides. Subtract the 9 from both sides. And we get negative 6 is equal to negative 6 root 2x. Isolate your radical again. So negative 6, divide both sides. We get 1 is equal to root 2x. And now we can undo and isolate our x. So we undo it by squaring. 1 is equal to 2x. Isolate your x completely. And you get your solution to be 1/2. Okay, if you check it, you can test it and plug it in and verify that it does work. And so this is how you'd have to do this by hand. Now, again, you guys are lucky because my goal is to teach you how to use technology rather than how to calculate things. Okay, so if you wanted to use your calculators to solve this, very simply, go to the Algebra tab, choose Solve, type in your expression exactly as it appears. In this case, the square root is allowed. So square root of 2x plus 3, close it off, is equal to 3 minus the square root of 2x. Close that off. We want to solve for x. And so when you hit solve, it confirms that we did it right by hand.